Hello, students, and welcome back to Mr. Armstrong Teaches. Today, it's game day. I'm going to teach you how to play paper telephone. I think that's what it's called. It's the best thing that we could come up with when we played it in class the other day. So that's what I'm going to call it today. Paper telephone. It's like this. Remember that game Telephone, where you whisper in someone's ear a sentence, and then they're supposed to whisper that sentence in someone else's ear, and then they do it, and so on and so on and so on, until it gets all the way around the circle, and by the time it does, it's hilarious if it's a completely different sentence that makes no sense at all. Telephone. I think we called it operator sometimes too. But this game is very similar to that. That's why we call it paper telephone. It's basically a way to play that game, but on paper instead of out loud. Let me show you how it works. So we played the real game, and I scanned the piece of paper that we used. So we're going to be using a real example. It started with this sentence right here. 3 elves crossed a forest and climbed a mountain for berries. This was written at the top of a page. This sentence gets passed to a different person. And that's the first kind of whisper from telephone. This gets passed to a different person. And their job is to, as closely as possible, draw this sentence. So instead of writing it with words again, they're going to draw a picture. And so it might look something like this. The sentence, 3 elves crossed a forest and climbed a mountain for berries, became this image. We got our little elves over there, and then they do the forest, and then there's a mountain, and then we have some berries. Basically what happens next is on the piece of paper, the sentence gets folded over, so it can no longer be seen. And then the next person only sees this picture, and they have to write a single sentence of what they think is happening in this picture. They have to write their best guess of what the original sentence was, in other words. And so it might look something like this. Shark heads travel woods for snow. I could see how those little elves could look like shark heads, right? Like a shark fin on top. And then woods. And then, yes, not berries, but snow. I could see how that looks like snow instead of berries, right? So already we have a pretty big difference. We still have going through woods. Berries have become snow, and the elves have become shark heads. So next, you would fold over the shark heads and pass the new sentence to another person. So if all they got to see was this, it might end up looking something like this. We've got our shark heads over here, sure, and they're traveling through the woods. Look, there's some mountains in there also. And then we have little snowflakes over here falling down. Yeah, some shark heads travel woods for snow. And so once again, we'd repeat the process. We'd fold over the words. And then this drawing becomes the sentence. Monsters go hiking and alien spaceships appear. It's getting pretty different now. That sentence would get passed on to someone else. And now we get some cute little aliens who are traveling these little hills. And of course, a flying saucer awaits them, which becomes the sentence. Some lost aliens crossed Cactus Hills to get back to their spaceship. Sure. And finally, some aliens, some Cactus Hills, a spaceship. And so the sentence we started with, 3 elves crossed a forest and climbed a mountain for berries, has become a very different picture. Just like in the game Telephone, where the sentence changes, now you have changing sentences, but also changing pictures. Fun! And that's how you play paper telephone. I use this in the classroom a lot to practice particular types of sentences, so I might say something like every sentence has to have a prepositional phrase or every sentence has to have a direct object. But also you can just play it for fun. There's variations too, where we usually do it where we fold the paper. So it's all on one piece of paper, and you just have to keep folding it back. It can get a little complicated depending on how old your students are, or how old the students are, how old the people playing are. And it can also work with just slips of paper, where each thing is on a new piece of paper, and you just keep the stacks of paper together. So give it a shot. Next time you're at a party, next time you're in a classroom, or you're just hanging out with friends and want to pass the time, you can do this while you're having a conversation. And it's a fun little activity that's pretty easy to access. Play it. Let me know how you enjoyed it in the comments below, or let me know if you know a different name for this. Maybe you've played this before and called it something different. I'd love to hear variations on the name. And if you have any questions or other comments, post them below. I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to teaching you something again very soon.